Panning is a key component of stereo and multi-channel mixes and allows us to control width and placement to deliver more sonically engaging mix. In this masterclass we'll cover some of the important options. First up, some basics. On a mono track, the pan control affects how much goes to each side, left or right. On a stereo track, your pan may be a left-right balance control, and at extremes this will throughput solely the left or right input. Or it may offer the more flexible option of full panning of both input channels to each side. That would be a stereo pan. Make sure you know which one you are using. Next up, there are some common conventions with panning. You don't have to stick to them rigidly, but if you don't, make sure you have a good reason. Most importantly, any main elements with lots of low frequencies such as kick and bass sounds should be centered and preferably monoed. This helps establish a solid low end and flags any left-right frequency cancellations. Other sounds that we usually center are lead instruments, snares, and in particular vocals. This is less to do with their low frequency content and more to do with the fact that if a dominant aspect of your mix is consistently off center, it draws your attention away from the center and the mix sounds consistently one-sided. At the opposite end of the panning spectrum we have double tracks. These can work layered and centered, but can also create amazing width when hard panned with one fully left and one fully right. This works well for acoustic and electric guitars, but you should try it on any double-tracked mono source, particularly if you want to add width to your mix. Panning single sources in the stereo field provides an opportunity to create your own bespoke stereo image. A good technique is to pan complementary elements to opposite sides, and this works particularly well if the elements start playing in a staggered fashion. Many elements we encounter when mixing are in stereo. Some of these, such as drum kits, string sections and acoustic pianos, are understandable. Others, such as synth patches and in particular bass patches, are often created by onboard effects. Successful panning in a mix relies on contrast, so if you have multiple stereo sounds all competing for space, it's often better to make some of them more mono, using either a stereo pan or width plugin, and then pan them accordingly. This often works well if you have multiple stereo synth layers that create an undefined blend. So far we've talked about setting a fixed pan position. Automation allows us to change this during the track or make it dynamic. Try using automation to shift the pan position of specific elements so they are more centered during some sections and wider during others. Finally, for dynamic panning, we can use automation or an auto pan plugin. The latter is less precise but is quick to set up and can be synced to the track. Dynamic panning works really well for special effects and is particularly good for transitions and builds.